Stop scrolling. If you want to become disciplined, this is the fastest way. I'm assuming you're a regular person, so you have all these habits of doom scrolling, porn, masturbation, junk food, watching YouTube, and maybe even more stuff than that. All of those things that you're doing is sapping your brain power, sapping your discipline power each time you do it, every single day. So let's say it like this: your discipline power gets like refreshed every single morning, but each time you do those bad habits, it like saps a little bit part of it away. That's why you cannot sit down and do the work. That's why you cannot actually go out and exercise. That's why you cannot study. That's why you cannot do a lot of the things that you want to do. That applies with literally everything, even if it's sticking to a diet. All of these things makes real work feels painful, makes real work feels hard on you. And believe me, when you quit these things, the hard work, the deep work, all of these things becomes way easier after a while, after a very short period of time. All of these things are artificial, cheap dopamines. Do you think our forefathers were eating junk food, were like sitting at home, watching porn, masturbate? Those things didn't even existed. Most of these things didn't even exist. They weren't doing them, and they were way more successful than us. When you quit these bad habits, your brain actually starts to crave real world progress, real hard work. So everything actually becomes more natural to you. Everything actually starts to drive into you. You actually know what you want to do. You actually know what you should do, but you're suppressing it with all these like bad habits, with all these addictions that you have. So when you quit these bad habits, you actually start doing some hard work, because nothing is comparable to the hard work, because there's nothing to compare to hard work in the first place when you don't do any of these bad habits. And you might be saying, it's not that easy. How am I supposed to do that? It's actually very simple. You change your identity. You stop trying to think that I'm someone who's trying to become disciplined. No. You have to believe that you are a disciplined person. You have to believe that you are already made it. You are already that person in the first place. When you do that, when you believe that, and when you constantly remind yourself and reinforce that thought in your head, you start to actually internalize it, and you start to live the life the way that person wants to live. Let's say this, your most disciplined version. Do you think he wakes up in the morning and immediately he eats junk food, immediately he doom scrolls on phone like that? He doesn't do that. So when you actually believe that, you start to change your environment. When you change your environment and make the bad habits harder to reach and make the good habits easier to reach, and you start living your life in a healthier way, you don't actually do these bad habits as much as anymore. Like, but you might still masturbate, you might still eat junk food over and there, do all of these things like rarely, often, just over and there, but they don't actually affect you that much. And after a while, you quit them fully. When you live your life like that, you actually start to feel the results after literally just 2 weeks. Nothing else, just 2 weeks. And you gotta remove the triggers as well. If you have any video game downloaded in your laptop, remove it, delete it. If you have any junk food in your house, either hide them or put them into somewhere very far so you won't be able to reach it in the first place, and stop buying junk food. You redesign your room in a better way. You make your bed, you put your notebooks on the table, you just make everything tidy and proper. And you keep trying. When you actually believe that you are that person in the first place, you don't need to actually try to like fight the urges all the time. You stop getting as many urges as you're getting right now. You're actually starting to get the cravings of wanting to do the hard work, wanting to actually level up in real life. So quit your bad habits, change your identity, change your environment, create like some good timetable for yourself. And most importantly, don't wait for tomorrow. Start today.